because it is only one-shot qualifying, and the grid will get mixed up anyway in the first two sprint races. Hopefully this podcast actually lasts longer than the other one just did. Here where we missed, or well, I missed last week's race in Great Britain. So we have the obviously formation lap. Not jumping straight into it yet. With a few new faces, with 2 new faces, and surprisingly less people, even though we have mixed Division 1 and Division 2. So I'll run down the grid. If we go from the back for no apparent reason, with no judge, no problem, starting in P14. I think after having a qualifying ban or some sort of reason, because he did retire from the one-shot quali. And Jalapeno Pepper in P13, Evan P12, Nelboy P11, Jar in P10, Boss in P9, Racing Ryan in P8, who is second in the Division 2 standings, I'm pretty sure, and Xavier is 7th, then Dobrovdi, a new face here in P6, just joining for the Italy race, and I'm assuming being with us for the rest of the season. And then Little Mikey in P5, Destravelis in P4, who's leading the Division 2 standings at the moment. And DTR ends, and someone spins in I don't know who that is. Someone's spinning in the formation lap. That is Nelboy, or one of the yeah, it was Nelboy. And interrupting my grid rundown, it's actually run up, but DTR ends P3, Fakey 200 in P2, also joining us for the Italy race. Maybe just a bit of luck there to get P2. Haven't really seen our speed from him. And then obviously Lancy in P1. I'm missing a few faces like Skipsy and Brent and Wesley, not here tonight. So a few new people getting the wins. Yeah, as we line up on the grid to take the first sprint race here in Italy. Cannot actually see the lights, which is really disturbing. Okay, well, no lights I could see. This camera's not the best. Lancy gets a great start away from Fakey 200. Fakey 200 with a poor start. They're going down to P4, getting overtaken by Destravelis and ends. Dobrovdi making up 1 place there next to his teammate now. As he go down the inside on Fakey 200, making contact, someone jumping right over the curb. I think that's Racing Ryan there. And still making no position to the bottom 3. Actually, no, Jalapeno Pepper's made up 1 place. Dobrovdi staying in 1 place. Fakey 200 losing out. Ends now leading the race here. So far from P3 here. Getting 2 overtakes. Destravelis moving away, just battling. Never mind. Very close. Still no one spinning just yet. Fakey 200 sticking in his place. Lancy losing out to DTR. Ends. Already a 2-second gap between Jar and Nelboy there, as the bottom 4 seem to be quite a distance away from the pack at the moment, as Jalapeno Pepper seems to be making a move on Evan here. As he does, he goes around the outside making that stick. No Judge is still in last place, let's make up any places. Xavier side by side with Jar, keeping his place there, defending it very well. Closest people on the track now I think is Destravelis on Mikey here. Is he going to go down the inside in the first turn? As Fake 200 also lunges down the inside, as we see there, going around the outside of Lancey. Does he make the move? No, he does not. Stravlis also not making the move. No Jug making up 2 places on that straight there, after overtaking Jalapeno Pepper and Evan. Side by side is Boss and Racing Ryan now, as Boss gets a better traction there, as Racing Ryan has to jump over some curbs. Just as No Jug makes those positions, he's back down in last now after getting overtaken twice again. Stravlis close on Mikey now, going down the outside, but braking way too early, not even putting any pressure on Mikey there. As there's a yellow flag train spinning out of the last chicane is Evan, No Jug and Jalapeno Pepper, and a DNF from Jalapeno Pepper, and Evan struggling to get back onto the track now. I think 3-way collision there as they were all bunched up. Doesn't seem to be a safety car, so Jalapeno Pepper's DNF'd off track, as the Brovdi's only right on the back of the Stravlis here. Is he going to go down the inside? He is. Can he make this work? He does, making the move under Stravlis there, as the Stravlis I think is going to get overtaken again by Boss here. So Evan and No Jug are firing right at the back. A great overtaking move there into the first corner by Dubrovdi. As Boss does go down the inside of Stravlis, and he's going to make that work as well. As Stravlis gets overtaken again there by Racing Ryan. Now with 2 more cars wanting to overtake him, Xavier and Jar here. But Lancey really trying to get his P1 back from ends, and also following quite close behind is Fake 200 and little Mikey. Everyone's still in the train, as Lancey actually does make the move on ends there. Fake 200 is right on the back of ends now, as little Mikey goes wide. Dubrovdi inherits P4. There's a yellow flag set to 3, but I think that is just for little Mikey. As Mikey now with these hot and dirty tyres now, trying to minimise this his fastest lap goes all the way through the grid. Talking of thing, I think No Judge No Problem has got a penalty of 5 seconds and he has to pit. No, Mikey's trying to overtake Jar, who now has 7th place. Us making 3, starting 10th, making 3 places up. As Fake 200 overtakes, ends into that second chicane. No Jug retires from the session. That's going to keep it on, as Dubrovdi seems to have fell down the grid here, P6 back to where he started. And there is a virtual safety car for No Judge No Problem, who seems to have DNF'd coming out of the Scar chicane. This is the same place Jalapeno Pepper did DNF, but he DNF'd well into the gravel, so it caused no incident for a safety car. As I do wonder what happened with Dubrovdi and him losing. I think he lost 3 places there, back to where he started, after I think Fake 200 made a move on DTR ends, and he must have been very close together. He's just gone off track. As DRS has been enabled, as they're very close here, these 5 now. So Dubrovdi makes a place. Dubrovdi's trying to go down, go on all 3 of them, all 4 of them here, trying to make the move, but no, late braking way too much, going over all the curbs. Back into P6, nope, not P7 now, P8 now. Just for a second, a glimmer of hope with Dubrovsky almost making up those positions again, but now he's straight back into P8. Stravelis had to go off track there. As third all the way down to really ninth, all within like 1.3 seconds here. As a race on board here with Ends as he gets overtaken by Fakey 200, or Fakey 200 goes around the outside. As Jar's now going around the outside with Little Mikey here, going into Parabolica. Can he make this work? No, not enough traction there for Jar, and Little Mikey spins. That's just losing traction there, unfortunately. As you see Racing Ryan trying to make a move on Fakey 200 and does before the braking zone, and we also see Dubrovsky make a move on DTR Ends there. And then Fakey 200 bounces over the curb, slowing Racing Ryan down, but Jar gets a perfect line. Ends spins after putting too much throttle on there. We'll move on with Dubrovsky now, as he's boxed in a bit here. Makes one overtake on Racing Ryan. Josh spins, goes all the way onto the grass. Fakey 200 might get this place, so they go side by side into the first Lesmo. Still side by side into the second Lesmo. A little bit of wheel bang in there. As Jar backs off, giving Fakey 200 the place as he stays P3. Dubrovsky wanting this P4. Will he make the move? Seems Dubrovsky goes onto the grass, spins. We're obviously riding on board with them there. Bit unfortunate, but obviously 2 more races for him. As Jar wants to make a move on Fakey 200, being really close. I think he's going to get it with his DRS here. Fakey 200 is unfortunately going to be caught with no DRS. Hopefully Xavier doesn't want to close that gap too fast. Making the smart move, ducking back into Jar's slipstream. Does Fakey 200. As just yellow flag sector 3, and that's Evan there. I think going into the pits he does. Yellow flag sector 1 and sector 2. DTR ends, that is. As we watch Dubrovsky here, getting very close to Little Mikey. We can move in this DRS zone for P9. Oh, he flicks to the outside, but flicks too much just to where he crashes, trying to make the move. Has to relinquish and spins coming back onto Thacker. That's going to be a DNF into the wall. No, it's not. He breaks a wing. Looking like a pretty low finish there for Dubrovsky now. As Stravelis is trying to get the slipstream on Racing Ryan with DRS. Can he make the move? But Xavier seems to be going slow. They're both catching Xavier now on the straight. Stravelis braking a little later here. I think Stravelis is going to make the place. He's going to have more traction on the exit. But no, he doesn't. Racing Ryan holds steady there. As we do see Jar make the move on Fakey 200, but unfortunately didn't get to watch that. Stravelis now very close to Racing Ryan. Racing Ryan brakes way too late going into the runoff there. As now there seems to be a 4-second gap between Boss and Shah here, and almost a second gap to fake 200 behind. He's going to want to try and keep that DRS if he can. But also a second to Xavier behind, and then a second to Destravelis behind him, and then 2 seconds to Racing Ryan behind him, and 3 seconds to No Boy behind him, and then 4 to Little Mikey, and 10 seconds behind Little Mikey as he turns. As the Brovdi has to, I know coming out the pits from his incident. Running in last years now. Hopefully he doesn't make any more mistakes, otherwise he will be lapped by the race leader here. As Boss makes the move for P1 here. Lancey very close on the back of him, almost pushing him through that chicane, but he gets much better traction does Boss here. They're the two closest people on track. Trying to go down the inside is Lanzi there, but that's definitely a opportunity move as he goes over the curb, sending his car into the stratosphere. But only losing half a second there in that instant. You see Xavier has now got within a second of Fake 200. He's going to have DRS, so is Destravelis is within a second of Xavier. As Fake 200 just dropped 2.5 seconds here now to Jar in front. I think Jar's going to start catching Lancey and Boss Racing. Can Fakey 200 try and hold this P4? Destravelis is very close on the back of Xavier here. So they both go down the straight. Xavier without DRS. Destravelis makes the move easy before the braking zone. But he brakes really late. Xavier might be able to get the switch back here. But no, that line through the chicane, being on the outside through the first chicane, seems to be the better option here. Destravelis just body blocking Xavier there, so Xavier decides to try and go down the inside, but can't make it work. As now Boss has now pulled a second on Lancey now, so no more DRS for Lancey. As we're on the penultimate lap, and then going on to the final lap, and the two closest cars are still Xavier and Destravelis. Three-second time penalty for Xavier for multiple track limit violations here. That will put him in P7 if Racing Ryan can stay close. As Destravelis almost letting Xavier by there, maybe to get the DRS. That would be a smart move. But now Xavier's going to have to come back at Destravelis. There's only half a second entering the first Les mode between Destravelis and Xavier, so I don't think Xavier will be able to... Oh wait, no, as a mistake from Destravelis, actually pulls them closer together. Now he's hoping to get DRS on this straight and overtake now, otherwise I don't think he's going to get this P5. Even though he does have a 3-second time penalty, but I think he's still going to want to finish in front of him. The Brovdi with a 3-second time penalty there for multiple track limit violations, as he just crosses the line to start the 11th lap. as we have your first race, first sprint race in Italy. The winner is Boss, then Lancy, and then Jar. And then Fakey 200 in P4, then Distraveless P5, then Racing Ryan P6, Xavier P7, Nellboy and Little Mikey P8 and P9, DTR Ends, who will start on pole next race, P10, Evan P11, Dubrovdi, the last of the cars still on track, which is 12th, and then No Problem P13, and Jalapeno Pepper P14. So really the winners in that race are Jar and Boss, making up 15 places respectively between them. And then the losers of the race really are the ones that are still driving the race, being Dubrovdi and Evan, who are 50 seconds away from the cars closest to them really. Dubrovdi has managed to pull around 3 seconds on Evan in these last few laps, but still his unfortunate braking on the grass leaving him incapable, and then losing the back end going over the curbs and into the wall, put him P12, which was very unfortunate because he was pushing for the last podium spot until it all went wrong for him. As it was a very good race from the two podiums, so it was in P1 and P3, and Lancy managed to stick it in there with second place. And also who started second place, Fakey 200, finished P4 just outside the podium places. Good consistent race from him. As now we invert the top 10 here. So who finished in 10 will start P1, and then P9, P2, and then yeah, continues. So I think it's N starting pole, and then Little Mikey, the Nell Boy, I think. That should be the top 3 for this race. Oh no, it is Little Mikey, then DTR Ends, then Noble, then Xavier, then Racing Ryan in 5th, Distraveless P6, Fakey 200 P7, Jar P8, Lancy P9, Boss P10, and then the bottom 4 the same as how they finished in the first race. But surprisingly, with the drivers that usually win races in this this league, being in the F2 league, being Brent and Wesley and Skipsy, just to name a few, they've won. Them not being here really opens the door for people like Ends and Boss, who is still incredibly fast getting podiums in the bar race. I remember. Same with Distraveless, who's very fast, and yeah, that's all I can think of. And Jar being very fast. And obviously the new faces, two new faces this race, Fakey 200 and the Dubrovdi fast in the F2 cars. Don't think I'd be able to put much of a challenge onto the championship, but I think it's between the top 3 in both Division 1 and Division 2. As I just finished in the formation lap now, as a very slow Jalapeno Pepper decides to make us wait a long time, sat on the grid of cold tyres. Oh wait, no, he's catching up as these cars go very slow to line up to the grid. The final car comes to line up on the grid now. Still can't see the lights, unfortunately, due to these camera angles. So I'm just going to have to guess from when they go. Little Mikey's starting on pole and then ends behind him. So we'll watch these two. As Mikey gets a good-ish start, DTR ends trying to pull him. Everyone's keeping place except Fakey and Lance, who's made up places. And DTR goes into the lead in the first corner. Is trying to look behind now. Fakey 200's made it up to 5th. Can he get round? No, he does. Going to P4. There's been a spin at the back. Dubrovdi at the back again. With Jalapeno Pepper, unfortunately, now. I think he's going to be sat there for quite a while at the back. There's now a lunge made by little Mikey, which forces him off track. Now he's going to stay off track for a little longer, trying not to get a penalty. As Xavier, I think, is also going to get P2 here, around the outside. Little Mikey, oh, very close. Little Mikey spins, catches it, just as Fakey 200 now gets P3 with that mistake from little Mikey. Now little Mikey's going to want to make the overtake back on Fakey 200. As the later breaker, Fakey 200 completely blocks little Mikey from doing anything. Perfect defending right there. As Nailboy is close on the behind of little Mikey. I'm going and having to brake because of his teammate. Racing Ryan now gets the position from Nailboy. And now Xavier trying to make the move for P1 as well. And so is Lil Mikey also trying to make a move on Fakey 200. Xavier gets the lead. Yes, he gets the lead. And Lil Mikey gets P3. He has very late braking from Nailboy. Sends him flying across the track there. As I think he hit into the back of Racing Ryan or Fakey 200 there. 10-second time penalty for Nailboy for exceeding track limits. As Xavier already has a 30-second time penalty now, as DTR ends gets in front of him. And Destravelis, I think, has made a mistake. Yes, loses 2 positions. And Evan also wants to get that place from him. As we're riding on board with Fakey 200 now, who seems to have quite a big gap behind and in front. Well, only been 3/10 actually to Racing Ryan. As Xavier is now going side by side with Ends, as you can see in front. Ends making the move, but has a slowish exit, and DTR Ends is now going to want to try and make a move into Parabolica. As Lancy is not going to be overtaken by Jar, I think, in this corner. We're very close. I think, yeah. Lancy should have more traction as they're still side by side. But they both have DRS. As little Mikey now wants to make a move on Ends, and Fakey 200 now looking to see what's happening here. Gonna go for a massive lunge down the inside. Now trying to go around little Mikey, doesn't, goes onto the grass, loses 1 place, loses 2 places, loses 3 places now from that small mistake. Now Boss is even going to want to follow his teammate through here. Don't know if that's going to happen. Fakey 200, the avid defender. Little Mikey now overtakes DTR Ends, as now you can see the wing of Boss trying to get past Fakey 200. As Racing Ryan side by side with DTR Ends. DTR Ends seem to have dropping off the pace here a bit. As Xavier has pulled a 1.5 second lead between him and Lil Mikey now. We're very close on this straight. Yellow flags, as that is Evans DNF'd on track, which causes No Drug to go flying into where Dubrovdi crashed, and so did Jalapeno Pepper. There's a virtual safety car. I think that should definitely be a proper safety car. So it is a DNF'd car on track. As No Drug goes into the wall again. That should definitely be a full-on safety car, but apparently not. Apparently that's not enough to warrant one. There's no jug pits, as we clearly saw him collide with Evan here. As the Brovdi is close on the back of Jalapeno Pepper, but it is safety car, so well, VSC. So we'll wait until this ends and see if he can get the move done. As the gap between P9 and really P3 is again within like 2 seconds. As Jalapeno Pepper gets a drive under safety car. Unfortunately there we saw him go really slow to the right side, couldn't slow down enough. That's really going to give the Brovdi P10, as I think he's going to get up on track P10 now as he whisks past Jalapeno Pepper. Is another yellow flag in sector 3, but that is Dubrovdi now spinning into the wall. I think his car is fine. No, he has lost an end plate as Jalapeno Pepper retires. I think Jalapeno Pepper has tried going on the inside of Dubrovdi there, and just some contact that shouldn't really have been made due to Jalapeno's drive-through penalty, and now forcing Dubrovdi to pit or stay out. He's gonna stay out. Maybe that isn't. Does he have damage? Yeah, he has front right end plate damages. There's a lot of shaking off the grid. Sorry, I've missed that after looking at car at the back. His DTR still in P4 though. Jar's trying to make the move on him into the second chicane. Fakey 200 watching, waiting for his time, as he's gonna try and go down the inside of ends and spins there. Unfortunately, he's gonna be with his teammate in P9 and P10 now. An unnecessary move from Fake 200 there. I don't think he ever saw that move actually paying off. I'm just hoping that ends would move out of the way for him, and he did not. As Racing Ryan's now in P2, and two cars are avidly wanting to get in front of him. As Lil Mikey's going to try and make the move on Racing Ryan, as he does late break in, but as he brake too late? No, he's braked perfectly. As Racing Ryan takes a chunk of curb, which I think is going to open the door for Jar, but it doesn't actually. Racing Ryan gets perfect traction, as Lancey now is going to try and make a move on Ends, who's behind Jar. Lancey goes down the inside on Ends. Just staying on the track there, there's Lancey, and they're still side by side going to the first Lesbo, and Lancey's now going to stay in front. No, they're still side by side into the second Lesmo, still side by side on the straight, both going to get DRS, and slightly pulled ahead, actually with no DRS for either of them, but the Stravless now wanted to make a move, who's going to back right off, almost giving the place back to Lancey. As there's a lot of cars up ahead fighting, Little Mikey and Jar wanted to, and that's a spin for Fakey 200, who has spun out of the Skyro chicane just like his teammate last race. He'll be pitting this lap. As Jar's now making the move on the inside on Racing Ryan. Little Mikey's going to want to try to get better traction than Racing Ryan here to try to overtake him. He cannot there. As No Jug and No Boy fighting for position here for P11, both with penalties. No Boy with 15 seconds and No Jug with 8 seconds, and Xavier with 6 seconds, which I haven't even noticed, but he's almost pulled 6 seconds on Jar here, so that could be okay if he can keep this pace up. But he seems to be losing time to Jar, and Racing Ryan's very close behind Jar, so I think he'll end up P3. As the Stravlis is now overtaking Lancy. As Jar gets the fastest lap. And all separated by quite a distance now. They're leaded by 5 seconds on wait, no, Xavier is between Xavier and Jar there's 5 seconds, and then behind Jar to Racing Ryan's about 9 tenths. So the same, about 5 tenths though Mikey, as he jumps very close to Racing Ryan. Racing Ryan making a big mistake, I think, as Lil Mikey's right in the back of him. And so is Enz and Destravas and Lancy. Racing Ryan getting a 3-second time penalty there. That will put him around P7 if it stays like this. Lil Mikey inching closer to Racing Ryan on that straight, but I think with DRS he's going to make the move here. But no, he didn't make the move on that straight with DRS. But he's got to make the move into this second chicane though, surely. As he does, yes, there we go, into the second chicane. Racing Ryan trying to get the switch back. And no, Lil Mikey is ahead, going to the first Lesmo. But he's very close behind, and behind him, DTR Enz is very close behind, and behind him, Destravlis is even closer. So I think the overtake that he's just making is just going to be put back into place with Racing Ryan taking the final podium spot. And now 4 people battling for this P3 now. Maybe even 5 with Lancy here, who now has DRS. As now all the cars behind Racing Ryan has DRS on him. Lil Mikey's gonna make the move, and that's the only move made on the straight actually. Yes, Lil Mikey's staying ahead. No other moves made. But can Racing Ryan come back into this second chicane? I think he's gonna try to. He is going to try. No, he's not. He just backs out. As Destravlis is eager to get past his teammate here. As now he goes side by side into the into the first Lesmo, sorry. But Enns stays behind his teammate. As now Lancey's picked up the pace and is now right behind Enns. As now for the second lap in a row, Racing Ryan overtakes Lil Mikey on the back straight as there's a yellow flag, so Xavier has crashed out there. Your race leader, as Racing Ryan gets a 3-second time penalty, that puts him. Oh, there's no safety car. Racing Ryan gets overtaken by Lil Mikey out of that last chicane. So is Destravlis is now going to try and make the move. Dubrovdi gets a 3-second time penalty. Racing Ryan has 3 seconds of time penalties. As now we are on the final lap of the race here. Destravlis now trying to make a move on his teammate, but Racing Ryan it's just Destravlis and Lil Mikey side by side after overtaking Lil Mike. No, I'm getting confused. There's now 5 cars fighting for P3 and P2 here. As any one of these cars can get it. Racing Ryan only with a 4/10 lead here. Side by side into the second chicane goes Destravlis and Lil Mikey. As Lil Mikey's now pulling away around 8/10. No, Racing Ryan is in P2 because Xavier just crashed. Racing Ryan's pulling a 1-second gap to Lil Mikey behind. Lil Mikey's pulled a half a second gap to Destravlis behind, and Destravlis has pulled a half a second gap to Enns behind. So almost that battle for P2 has ended now, and fake 200 DNFs out of the first Lesmo, but unfortunately for him, is now Destravlis is going to try and make the move, pushing Lil Mikey out of the podium places that he's been sat in all race. But can Lancey also keep the move stick on Enns? As Jar wins the race here, and Racing Ryan comes 6th with this time penalty. Lil Mikey coming second, Destravlis P3, Lancey P4, staying ahead of Enns at the end there. Enns P5, Racing Ryan obviously P6 because it's time penalty. Boss being P7, Dubrovdi P8 after his early lap antics, and then No Jug P9 and Nailboy P10. I mean, that can actually change between those two, I think, but no, it can't. Sorry there, it's got a quick drink. As at the podium is Jar P1, Lil Mikey P2, and then P3 to Destravlis there after quite an exciting second sprint race. But now we move on to the 16-lap feature race, which has to involve a pit stop now. And I always forget how the grid lines up for the feature race. I think it's whoever scored the most points that day for the first 2 races. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure at the same time. If we look at that faster lap by Jar there, that is faster than Mikey by 1.3 seconds, but I don't think it will be faster than Oh, it is faster than Xavier by 6 seconds, it's very surprising. But Jar was closing down Xavier until Xavier crashed out of the Ascari chicane. And it's quite a cloudy looking Monza. As the grid starts, Jar, Boss, Racing Ryan, Xavier, Dubrovdi, Little Mikey, Destravos ends, Fakey 200, Lancy, Nailboy, Evan, Jalapeno, Pepper, and No Judge, No Problem. I always forget how the grid starts, but as now all the drivers do line up on the grid. And again, can't see the lights because it's at a new camera angle. Obviously I could put it into here and then check. So 5 red lights and away we go. Jar getting a good start, but Boss's start was better, as Boss is going to go down the inside, makes the position. Xavier's going down the inside on Racing Ryan as a wing goes flying off. Jar keeps the position. Racing Ryan trying to battle Xavier there. Fakey 200 in 5th, I think, has overtaken Dubrovdi there. What place did Fakey 200 start? Making up 4 places on that start, Fakey 200. Absolute demon in the F2 cars apparently. As people want to get past Boss. I think Racing Ryan's looking for a move into the first lesson, but it doesn't work. Fakey 200 now getting closer to Xavier. As Lancy makes the move on Evan there. Evan almost losing the back end, going into the gravel there. The second Lesman, No Judge and Nailboy now get past him. As then we go back up to the front. The closest cars is Dubrovdi on Fakey 200. Dubrovdi does cut the corner. They will get a track limit warning for that. Doesn't want to do that again and get a penalty. As Xavier now on Racing Ryan, trying to go around the outside in the parabolic. It doesn't really work that well. He's going to try to get the switchback, but it is really slippery, as we saw from little Mikey. He managed to make it stick, but can't catch up to Racing Ryan. Now Destravelis trying to make the move on little Mikey, who is already a second down, and there's a lot of overtaking at the back only because No Jug and End pitted, as little Mikey's gone really close and gives the position. Oh no, Destravelis gives the position back a little bit to little Mikey there in the first chicane. As now Lancy trying to make a move on Jalapeno Pepper here into the second chicane. This seems to work. Up ahead also Destravelis and little Mikey fighting for places. Lancy making that move on Jalapeno Pepper look very easy, as now there is an 8/10 gap between Dubrovdy and Fake 200. As also the gap between Dubrovdy and little Mikey is growing, as it seems to be the top 6 but seem to be faster than everyone else really in the track. For the third time in a row, No Jug is at the back of the grid after a pit stop in all 3 of these races, unfortunately for him. Closest car to another car is Dubrovdy on his teammate Fake 200. Actually, I'm lying. Destravelis is very close on No Mikey. I think he's going to get the move done with DRS, but they collide there. A little bit of damage there for Destravelis, I think. Nobody's going to stay out. DRS activated this lap, so next straight they will get DRS. As Destravelis now goes down the inside on Lil Mikey. Lil Mikey determined not to give that place away, and he does not, keeping it from Destravelis there. As now Dubrovdy is only 2 tenths away from Fakey 200. In the slipstream, Fakey 200 goes to the inside to defend, and I think it's gonna work unless Dubrovdy can get a good switchback, which he can't really. That chicane is always difficult to try and do. Destravelis does make the move on Little Mikey, as Little Mikey's now turned around at a wall, so there could have been contact there from those two. It's now getting back on board with Dubrovdy as he's chasing down Fakey 200 into the Ascara chicane with DRS. He's going to make the move hopefully before the braking zone, and he does. Now it's Fakey 200's turn to try and get this position back on the straight. Still the closest 2 cars on track now. As now Fakey 200 is going to have DRS, see how close he can get on the back of Dubrovdy here. Don't think Fakey can make a move, he cannot. We've seen Fakey do a lot of dives in his races, as No Boy gets an awkward braking zone and messes up Jalapeno Pepper a little bit there, as he did make the overtake on him on that straight. And Fakey 200 now going to try and move back on Dubrovdy, very close to his behind, taking a nice and safe chicane. As Lancy's in the pits with Evan now. Obviously they do have to pit one stuff in this feature race, which I did forget, and I don't know what tyres they started on, but I think it is the softs. Yes, the early pitters are going for the mediums on this track, as Fakey 200 is going to try and make a move. No, he's not. I think he's saving it for the main straight. Unfortunately, gets really close to Dubrovdy there, but keeps quite close behind him. And I think a move is going to be made on the next straight. Obviously, these two teammates can't pit at the same time, and they also can't double stack with a gap like this with the F2 pit stops. Will one of them come in this lap? No, they both stay out, which I think Fakey 200 is going to go in front. They're going to have to decide which one of them is going to go first, as Fakey 200 is going to go down the inside on Dubrovdy, the first braking zone. Dubrovdy trying to come back at him. Fake 200 with a better traction line, but he hits in, saved by his teammate there as he loses traction, goes into the side pod of his teammate, and luckily with reduced damage being on, that did no damage to Fake 200 or Dubrovdi, so Dubrovdi does stay ahead from Fake 200. As I think everyone else has stayed the same, except from a few more pit stops, which was Xavier. We did see him pit on a Fake 200's screen. As to Stravlis is now catching these two here, who have been battling for some time, these two teammates. Going down the inside, Fakey 200. He's going to go down the inside, and that is going to spin Fakey 200, which is quite a move there maybe from Fakey 200. Goes down the inside, but we have seen drivers go down the inside there and not make contact and have be very fair racing through the Ascari chicane, but there Dubrovdi seemed to just take out Fakey 200 there. I think really should have left the space from for Fakey 200. Obviously he's going down the inside, but he doesn't need to leave space, can't just turn in on him like that, and I think should have acknowledged that Fakey 200 would have just kept that place. As Fakey 200 is going to pit, which is going to be an awkward double stop maybe if they can get them out. Dovey's is out. I think it's going to be fine between these two. Obviously I'm focused on these two, but everyone makes the pit stop except from Noboy on the 6th lap, as there was a yellow flag but no safety car. As it seems to be an okay stop. I don't know what a fast pit stop is from these times. Anyway, moving back onto a Mikey's still in the pits, who is out. All separated by quite a big gap now, about a second. No one's got deals to anyone. Little Mikey and Fakey 200 left in the pits after I think a double stop for both of them. No Boy with a 16-second gap, still on the soft compound of tyres, I think. Yep. As the closest cars on track right now, they're all separated by a second, except for DTR ends who's close on Evans' tail. Yes, as that's being closed down. Also, Xavier's been close on racing Ryan here. As he's going to make the move with DRS down the inside before the braking zone there, and yep, Clean keeps the move out of the first chicane as well, and ends now. If I look at the trying to make a move on Evan, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. No. As Noboy didn't pit, he's trying to keep this lead, but these tyres are really slow. He's lost 3 seconds to jar behind. I think this pit stop is going to go around P8. Trying to look for close people on track. It is still racing around on the back of Xavier, and DTR ends. Actually, Lancey on the back of DTR ends. This is right behind him, only 3 tenths away. As Lancey does make the move almost with a very late break in, hitting the back of Evan, but he did make the move just for a second on ends there, but his braking was just a little bit off. As now Noboy does come into the pits, he'll come out. He goes onto the softs again, which I don't know the rules on regulation. 5 seconds for Dubrovdi for speeding into the pit lane, and I'm assuming he has a broken wing for collision with someone. Is he going onto the soft compound of tyres? I don't know what the rules are here with No Boy and the same compound of tyres. So he's just gone soft to soft, so I don't know how that's going to work. As yes, he does come in P6. I mean, not 6. As Lancey's now trying to make the move again on DTR ends here. Five-second time penalty for Fakey for corner cut, and his DNF. No one seems to be DNF. He seems to have retired on track. I think Fakey 200 has. Yes, he has retired on track, unfortunately. As Lancey with DRS is going to try and catch Ends who doesn't have DRS here. And he does make the move. Will he make it before the braking zone? Yes, he does. As now Ends is close on the back of Lancey, and Lancey's on the close on the back of Evan, and Evan is close on the back of Jalapeno Pepper. A big gap in the middle of the field here between Noah Boy and Destravelis here. I don't really know what that gap is obviously like from, but it seems to be quite large. 10 seconds between Noah Boy and Destravelis here. Oh, as Lancey just misses in the back of Evan there from again another late braking. Ends gets past him, he's now back in 10th place. Destravelis is the 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, so maybe Nail Boy, if he's fast enough on these softs, can get that place. I think Ends is going to try and make the move on Evan here. Maybe into Parabolica, maybe. I think it'll be in the next DRS zone, which is this straight. And Ends is making the move on Evan, but also wanting to get involved is Lancey. I think Lancey's going to try and follow Ends through, maybe. Nope, Dubrovdi is retired from the session now after spinning out of the Ascari chicane. Both our teammates has retired and slamming into the thing. Lancey retires from the session as well in the same lap, and that is a full-on safety car here. So now the strategy with Nell Boy's new soft tyres seems to really be paying off here. If he can nurse these softs, he'll be laughing. Yes, we are involved in Nail Boy now. This is a full-on safety car that I think will last for 2 laps to bunch up this grid. As I don't know who would pit really. Maybe Jalapeno, no, maybe Ends on 7-lap old tyres. Don't know. As Nail Boy pits for a strange reason. I don't know why. Maybe he's got damage, but I can see both his end plates. I don't know why he would pit here in this stage in the race for the medium tyres. I think the soft are the best tyres. Yeah, I think he just shouldn't have pitted there. Maybe he had his bot on or something. Very unfortunate there for him, as he comes out on the medium tyres. But so did No Jug and N, since they were both on medium tyres, and Mikey comes into the pits also on medium tyres, but he wants to go onto the soft compound tyres. There's no more goes into the pits again for some reason. As he goes onto the soft tyres that he just had on to try and be faster. But I don't know if he's even going to catch up to the safety car at this point here, as Jalapeno Pepper crashes under safety car, or tyres under some sort of safety car here, which I don't know what that is. So, yeah, just waiting for the grid to really be bunched up now. There's quite a big gap between end and P6, 14 seconds. But it's dropping obviously very fast. But this is, it will be in next lap, so we'll go we'll have 2 laps of racing here at Monza, hopefully. Who's in the pits now? Xavier in the pits now. Maybe he has damage, I don't know. Seems to be going on the soft compound tyres when he comes out. Yes, he is going on the soft compound tyres. So P1 to P5 still on medium tyres, and P6 to P10 on soft tyres. So I think the medium tyres will have just enough to keep in front of the soft tyres, I think. as your safety car will be in this lap. 3-second time penalty for Xavier there, which is a bit strange on the safety car. Safety car zooms in front as we'll get on board with the leader. Who can start speeding up anytime he wants now. And there it is, just before the parabolic turn, he speeds up. He's gonna get quite a big gap on Boss here. If a dude doesn't get a really good start, is Evan here, who's probably going to be overtaken. Yep, I would assume so if DTR ends late brakes, which he does, but then should get beat out of this corner. He gets much faster as DTR ends on those soft tyres. Now he's going to try to charge under Stravalis' teammate here, see what he can do on these tyres. With on the penultimate lap now, and Evan now trying to come back at DTR ends, doesn't go down the inside. Xavier trying to make a move on. DTR ends no blowing his lead there, spinning out in the second chicane exit, or even on those soft tyres. No joke, battling through. There's a lot of contact with Evan there, but he makes the place happen. P5 for him now. Xavier also going past Evan. No Mikey wanting to get past Evan now. Now No Joke has to try to close a 2.8 second gap to Destravelis if he wants another place. Actually, never mind, Destravelis has a 3-second time penalty, so all he has to do is close. No, just doesn't even have to close anything, just has to stay within 3 seconds of Destravelis. And Xavier is now trying to get in front of No Judge here with no DRS though, so I think No just gonna have to be swerving. There's little Mikey's now side by side with Evan. Now Evan's getting overtaken again, I think, in Parabolica. Yes, he is. As Destravis is making a move on Racing Ryan here, both on the medium runners here. This will slow them down, I think. Destravis managed to get ahead, no, but the better traction line is Ryan's, as No Joke can see them fighting in the distance. Now, but behind him is Xavier, who's really wants his place. No Joke's just praying that he stays within 3 seconds of thingy, but I don't think he will now after that. I think these two need to stop tripping each other over to get this to Stravalis place, but Xavier also has a 3 second, so it's not really No Joke's worry here. But Racing Ryan and Stravalis still slowing each other down, still side by side is Xavier and No Joke, no problem here. As Xavier doesn't get in front on that straight. No, Xavier eager to get past No Jug as he's trying to go around the outside now, but that was the final lap, and Jar comes across the line to finish first. Boss second, Racing Ryan third, Destravelis P4, No Jug P5, Little Mikey P6, No Boy P7, Xavier P8 after his time penalty, and I didn't get to read out the rest because they all finished. No Judge, no problem, making the most places there. As your winner again for the second race in a row was Jar again. Maybe he's won all 3 races, I actually don't know. Some good racing from the F2 guys there. We'll obviously see who won all the races just now. So Boss winning the first sprint race, then the second sprint race going to Jar, and then the third race going to Jar with Boss in second. So I think, losers really those races were really just Dubrovdi really. Dubrovdi, Evan, but even Evan got some points there. One driver who didn't finish in the points with any race is Dubrovdi after DNF in 2 races in a row, and then finished in the back of the grid on 1 race. Just not too good from him. We do expect better. His teammate doing a little bit better, but not much. After getting a P4 in the first phase, just declined after that. It's annoying to see the new faces go this early into DNF. It's a bit of a shame. They need to just drive more carefully. Anyway, that's it. That's all the Formula 2 racing for this Monday. All 3 races done. You can see next Monday in, I don't know what track it is. Yeah, I think it's, I actually don't know. But you know, I think it's Russia actually. So we'll see you next Monday in Russia. And obviously there's streams tomorrow, and then the day after that, and the day after that for the F1 content. Division 5 tomorrow, followed by Division 1 and Division 5 tomorrow on Tuesday. So make sure to be tuned in for that. And yeah, that's it.